Hello, I am Mac, at least for a day, and everything's going to be okay. So we just got some exciting news. The next update to No Man's Sky is coming, and it's, I guess, going to be an anniversary update, and we actually know what the name of the update's going to be, Echoes. So Sean kind of broke with tradition. He told us the name of the update before doing an emoji for it. But what they did is they uploaded kind of a trailer that reviewed and showed footage of all of the updates No Man's Sky has gotten over the past 7 years. So this is the seventh anniversary update to No Man's Sky. Um, so on Hello Games Tube, their YouTube channel, they uploaded this trailer. You should watch it. It's pretty cool. It shows all all of the updates, and then at the very end it says No Man's Sky Echoes. So it tells us what the next update's going to be. But we don't have a release date yet. We don't know when the update's coming or what's going to be in it, but we can speculate for sure. Obviously, we knew it was going to be part of the four-part series. Sean Murray earlier this year said that the current updates that they've been doing, Interceptor, where we got corrupt Sentinel planets, and then the Singularity Expedition, those were two of four of a four-part series of updates that are happening this year. So we know Echoes update is going to be part three of this series, and the series is about corrupt Sentinels and the autophage race, which are kind of related because there's a sandworm or something around here. That's what that noise is. Yeah, so the autophage race is kind of a robotic species. I've theorized that the autophage may have been... Man, what is with that noise? Oh well. This is a really cool cave. The autophage may have been like the original form of the Sentinels, because they look fairly similar, but information we got in the Singularity Expedition kind of made me think that's not the case, that maybe the autophage were just another robotic race that died out or were deleted by the Atlas, and then in that expedition we got to basically resurrect one member of it. We rebuilt the autophage guy. Why don't I go ahead and go look at him so you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, in the expedition, we rebuilt this autophage guy. They have some similar characteristics to the corrupt sentinels, especially there's one type of new corrupt sentinel that was added um, in the Interceptor expedition, the spider type, the four-legged spider-looking corrupt sentinels, and then autophage have those same legs. So it seems like either the autophage and the sentinels are related, or for some reason corrupt sentinels are taking on characteristics like the autophage. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. We don't really know in the lore exactly how autophage and sentinels are connected. They definitely both end up in the world of glass. So when sentinels are deleted, they go to the world of glass basically to be healed. In one lore entry in Derelict Freighters, the Korvax refer to it as the Garden of the Sentinels, where basically deleted or destroyed sentinels grow in crystals in the world of glass, and that's either where they get healed or where they get turned into corrupted sentinels. But then in the autophage expedition, or the singularity expedition where we rebuilt this autophage guy, part of the mission was to reveal crystals that showed the autophage also encased in crystals. So on a corrupt sentinel planet, you can see crystals where broken sentinels are encased in the crystals, but in that special mission, we also were revealing crystals that had autophage um, remains in the crystals. So either sentinels and autophage are related, or they both just got deleted and trapped in crystal in the world of glass. So maybe they're not related, and they just both ended up with the same fate in the world of glass, or maybe they are related in some way. Who knows? Maybe sentinels use parts of autophage to rebuild their bodies, or maybe this autophage body was just made from sentinel parts. Who knows? It's confusing. But let's talk about the term echoes, because, well, obviously, we've had the term echoes since day one in No Man's Sky, because Korvax lore is always referred to basically dead Korvax or the soul of Korvax as echoes. Korvax, of course, are the robotic race that has always been in the game. Um, Nada is a member of that race. Um, and so their souls, or their robotic AI consciousness, is referred to as an echo. And even if they die, basically their echoes goes into some kind of universal network called the convergence, and basically echoes get reborn. Actually, I'm not sure if Korvax actually get reincarnated. I don't know if after they die their souls actually get to come back. Usually in the Korvax lore, when you talk to Korvax, it talks about their shells, their robotic bodies being refreshed with a new entity. And I think that means like a new echo, a new personality is created. So if they die, if they break down, their soul, their echo, leaves their body, and then it's refreshed, or like, I think that means a new soul is created. Um, so I don't know if Korvax that die, if their souls ever actually come back and get reincarnated. It may just be that there's a whole huge collection of echoes that are dead, and new new souls get created in their body, their shell, each time they die. I'm not sure how that works, but it does seem like in the case of autophage that we are bringing back the souls of the dead autophage, because in the Singularity Expedition, we actually um, got their echoes when we collected the crystals that had autophage encased in them. Yeah, this doesn't say anything about the expedition, of course, because the expedition's over. But yeah, in the expedition, we went to corrupt sentinel planets. We collected the crystals that had autophage encased in them, and that gave us echoes. It gave us the lost echoes of the autophage, and we put most of them in that simulation machine I just showed. But the first one we got, we put in this new body. So at least for autophage souls can be brought back and put in a new body. Maybe that's what happens with Korvax 2. Maybe there's just a whole bunch of souls and they wait their turn to be reincarnated in a new body. But the way the Korvax lore is, sometimes it makes it sound like they just um they just create new souls each time. I don't know. and there's like a whole bunch of souls of Korvax out there that like cry out and stuff. Probably because Korvax Prime was destroyed. So when Korvax Prime was destroyed, a lot of their bodies were destroyed. So I guess there's a lot of echoes out there that don't have bodies. Um, and that's why there's a whole bunch of them out in the network. It's kind of like this weird robotic ghost thing. But anyway, so the name of the update is going to be Echoes, and that's probably refers, of course, to the autophage echoes that we collected. So, but the question is, what is going to happen? My guess, I mean, one guess that I have is that the um the the autophage souls that we put in the simulation are going to escape. So we did the Singularity Expedition. You each person, like I collected a nearly 100 souls, I think, during that expedition. It was a community milestone kind of thing. So probably over 1 million souls were collected because if I collected nearly 100 and there's thousands of people playing No Man's Sky, it'd be pretty easy for like 1 million souls to be collected. So anyway, we've got the idea that there's like 1 million autophage souls in Nada's simulation, and they're called echoes. So my guess is that this update, like the next step in this storyline, is that the echoes that we collected are going to escape from Nada's simulation and they're going to start getting their own bodies. So I've been predicting for quite a while that that we were going to resurrect the autophage race, and just like I predicted, we've known about the autophage race since the Interceptor update because wrecked autophage bodies started to be discoverable on corrupt Sentinel planets. So even before the Singularity Expedition, I predicted that we would be resurrecting the autophage race. And like I predicted, we rebuilt one autophage guy that I just showed you up in the space anomaly, and we collected millions or around 1 million souls in the simulation. So what makes sense to me, and we'll see if my prediction is correct again, is that those souls are going to escape the simulation and are going to recreate their bodies. Like maybe they'll go and they'll possess the autophage bodies that are on corrupt Sentinel planets, or maybe they'll take over corrupt Sentinel bodies and then recreate them into their own bodies, something like that. And then basically that's how the autophage race will be resurrected. So actual features, that's like what the lore of the update is going to be, I'm guessing. Now for actual features, probably we will get the new autophage race, meaning they will be a complete race. At least we'll start seeing them in space stations. So we've only got one autophage on the space anomaly right now, but I think they'll be similar to Traveler NPCs. So Traveler NPCs don't have their own star systems. There's only star systems that are controlled by Korvax, Viking, and Gek. But they added the Traveler race way back in, I think it was Pathfinder. Yeah, Pathfinder. They added well, no. It was Atlas Rises. Atlas Rises. They added the Traveler race that you could see in space stations. Um, yeah, and so for years and years, Traveler race has existed, but there aren't like Traveler owned star systems. But you can see Traveler NPCs in space stations. So I think in this in this coming update, autophage NPCs will start to appear in space stations. Another thing I've been predicting, I don't know if I've said this in a video, is I think that uh, eventually autophage race will have their own star systems. Unlike the Traveler race, it doesn't have their own star systems. I think the autophage will. They may like become like a warring race that will conquer star systems and stuff, but not necessarily. They don't have to take the star systems from the existing races because for quite a while now we've had undiscovered systems. I forget which update it was that added them, but yeah, we have undiscovered and abandoned star systems. So in the lore, they could say that the autophage race comes back, and they basically claimed abandoned and or undiscovered star systems. So honestly, I would like it if they would replace all the undiscovered star systems with autophage star systems, because there's really nothing good about undiscovered star systems. I don't think people go to them much because all they are is just normal star systems without space station and without buildings on planets. There's no reason to visit them, other than the fact that like all red star systems are undiscovered. So if you need the red resource material, you have to go to a red star system. So you're pretty much forced to go to undiscovered star systems sometimes. Not every single red star system is undiscovered, but the vast majority of red star systems are. Um, but I don't see any reason why people would want to build bases or visit undiscovered star systems very often because they just have less things than normal star systems. They just don't have buildings and they don't have a space station. So that makes them actually much less convenient and much less useful. There's less things to discover than on a regular star system. So I think they should replace all the undiscovered star systems with autophage star systems. And then, of course, the other thing that we've known about since like the beginning of this year, um, like early this year, people discovered the uh, new space station um, assets. So there's new versions of space stations that people found in the files. So they haven't been implemented yet, but they're like these really cool, like kind of look. Some of them kind of look like fancy Death Stars, um, with much cooler stuff on them. Like it's really cool architecture, really cool new type of space stations. And what they could do is those could be specifically autophage space stations. So it doesn't entirely make sense why all of the space stations in the universe would suddenly turn into the new ones, but it would make sense if the autophage race suddenly returned to the universe and like they had really advanced knowledge and technology and were able to create these new space stations and put them in undiscovered star systems. So all the undiscovered star systems would suddenly have space stations that are the cool new design, and they have autophage NPCs, and the autophage are colonizing the planets. I'm not sure what they would do with buildings. It wouldn't make sense. Well, I mean, they could do it if they wanted to. They could make it so that buildings appear on all the planets, and of course, it would be new architecture. It would be autophage style architecture, just how Korvax have Korvax um, style architecture. There's Gek style architecture, and there's Viking style architecture for all the buildings that you find on planets. So autophage would have their own unique architecture that would probably look like the new space stations that were found in the files. But I'm not entirely sure if all that's going to happen yet, since this is part three of a four-part series, maybe in this update, Echoes, we're just going to get autophage NPCs in space stations. So it's going to be the beginning of the autophage appearing in the universe, but they won't quite have their own space stations and star systems yet. They'll just start appearing, and maybe there will be some special quests or something that we can get when we talk to autophage NPCs in space stations, and maybe that'll be it. I'm guessing there's probably going to be more features than that, but I have no idea what they could be. I don't I don't have any inside information into what Hello Games has been working on. All we know, of course, is what we've gotten this year so far, and I can only speculate on stuff with autophage. There could be totally other new features that they've also been working on that will be in this update. I mean, it is a anniversary update. Like I said, Hello Games did a special anniversary trailer, so they're definitely hyping this up to be a larger update. So it's probably not going to be just autophage NPCs and space stations. That would be pretty anticlimactic. So there's probably going to be other features, but like I said, it doesn't make sense that, suddenly there would be, you know, autophage space stations and autophage buildings already after, of course, anything can be explained away because No Man's Sky's universe is a simulation, so like some kind of glitch in the matrix could suddenly make new space stations and buildings appear. But I think it would make more sense for them to gradually do it since this is part three. Part three would just be autophage race returns, and you can see them in space stations. And then in part four, they would get their space stations and buildings in undiscovered star systems. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what other new features could be added. Please comment in the comments and tell me what you think is going to be added with this update. Um, they've added so many new features, and I honestly don't know what else they could add. Obviously, there's infinite possibilities, but I can't really think of much else. Obviously, there's my regular wish list of I wish we could get new dungeons since Desolation was my favorite update when they added Derelict Freighter dungeons, and I wish they'd add dungeons on planets and stuff like that. But we have no indication that they're going to be doing that in this update, so I'm not going to get my hopes up for that. So my only guess is that the autophage race is going to start appearing in space stations. That's the only feature that I can really guess that's going to be in this update. So let me know what you think, what new features they might add in this update, and I will enjoy reading all of your input. So, oh yeah, so we don't know when the update is coming. It's probably coming next week because Sean said Echoes is coming soon, but um, the problem is I'm actually leaving for a business trip next week. Not right at the beginning. It's like the second half of next week I'll be gone for a business trip. And so unless the update comes on Monday or Tuesday, it looks like I'm not going to be available to make a video as soon as the update lands, unfortunately. It's just really unfortunate timing. So, if the update lands on Thursday, it won't be until the following week that I'll be able to do a video about it or anything. It's just unfortunate coincidence, bad timing on my part. Hopefully the update will come sooner, but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, so I may not make a video as soon as the update lands, depending on the timing. But I definitely will make videos about the new update eventually. Just depends on when the update will land. So let me know what you think is going to be in the update and when you think the update is going to happen. So anyway, that does it for this video about the upcoming Echoes update for No Man's Sky. I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day. And remember, everything's going to be okay.